Hi guys, and welcome back to A Word from God with Pam. Right, so today we're having that conversation. The conversation that we often don't want to have, but I'm going to talk about it today. We're going to talk about those friends that God wants you to get rid of. We're going to talk about that habit that God wants you to get rid of. So just again, I'm going to highlight, when I talk about friends or letting go of certain things, I'm not talking about the good people in your life, okay? I'm not talking about the good habits. I'm not talking about the good connections. We're talking today strictly on the habits, the connections, the associations, the networks, the entourage, the friendships, relationships. Yes, sis, that could be your man. Yes, bro, that could be your girl. Those ones where God has given you so many signs, there's so many red flags, but you're dodging them. This message has come directly to your screen from God. It's time for you to let go. It's time for you to part ways with that person. It's time for you to part ways with that habit. It's time for you to part ways with those things that you're doing behind closed doors or even in the open. And God is constantly telling you that I want you to stop because I want you to have a deeper relationship with me. And I also have so many wonderful things that I have in store for you. So before we go into it, I want to read Genesis chapter 13, verses 6 to 12. So for those of you who don't know, so this is coming from when Abraham and Lot, who are cousins, they lived together in this, can you say live together? Yeah, so they were sort of like living in the same land together. So now they became really wealthy, and their herdsmen that were looking after the livestock, they began to squabble because they had so much stuff between them. So Abraham was literally like, right, okay, we've got a lot, between us. Do you not think it's time for us to separate? And again, it wasn't in the way of Lot was a bad person, but it was more in the sense that, look, we've done our time together, but I think it's now time for us to separate or to go separate ways. And he actually says to him that, look, we've got the whole land. Why don't we just split off? You take one side, I'll take the other side. Abraham then says to him that you can actually pick. You pick whichever one you want to go first. So Lot opens his eyes and then he sees a really fresh land and he's like, okay, I'm going to take that one. Abraham takes the second one, and then the story goes on. But I specifically want to highlight 5 things in this split. Sometimes the person that you need to depart from isn't necessarily someone that is bad. It's just that the season where you two are walking together is over. So their possessions was too great to accommodate both of them. So they had a time where they built together. They had a time where God was allowing them to be in the same space, and they became wealthy. They had servants, they had all these things, livestock, they had herds, everything, and it was going well. But there came a time where God was about to call Abraham. And God then started to stir things up. They were not able to accommodate their possessions anymore. I want to give you the first reason why maybe God is telling you to depart from a certain habit, depart from a certain friendship, depart from a certain relationship. It could be that what God has put in you cannot accommodate both you and the person that you're trying to keep. What God has placed in you, what God has given you, the future that God has for you, it might not be able to accommodate the person that you're trying to keep. And that's why God is saying, let them go. I'm about to promote you. I'm about to take you in a different dimension. And this person that you want to keep, they're not the person that is going to support you. They're not the person that's best fit for your new season. So that's the first thing I want to remind you. Sometimes it's not that the person is necessarily bad. It's not that the person is evil or has bad intent for you. Sometimes it's just that God has greater plans for you and that person is not fitted for the season that you're about to enter. So whoever you are listening to this and you feel like this resonates with you, let that person go. You have so much to lose if you keep them. That relationship, those habits, you're the one that's going to lose. Let them go. God is about to do something new in your life. The second one, the herdsmen begin to have some discussions and disputes between them. So there was already some sort of friction. This is the second thing. Maybe God is seeing that there is friction happening between you and that habit, that relationship that needs to stop because it could be detrimental to you, detrimental to your spiritual life, detrimental to your future, detrimental to your mental health, detrimental to your health. And maybe you might not be able to see that, but God is telling you to let go because this could be the very thing that is destroying your life. So I'm encouraging you, let that person go. Your life is not going to be destroyed without them. Maybe it could actually start without them. It could start without the habit. It could start without the entourage. It could start without you going to that same place God is telling you not to go to. So remember, it's not necessarily just because that other thing is bad. Sometimes it could just be that it's bad for you. The third one is when Abraham tells him, is not the whole land before you? He's saying that, look, we have so much to explore. We don't have to be close together forever. There's so much for us to explore. And how do I take that today? It's the same as God saying, there are other friends that are available for you to connect with. You might be thinking, oh God, but if I let this woman go, if I let this man go, if I let this friend go, if I let go of this job, if I let go of this business idea, if I let go of this, what's going to happen? You feel like it's the end of the world. Well, I'm going to ask you like Abraham asked Lot, is not the whole land before you? Is not the whole world before you? There are other things that God wants to place in your hand. He's just asking you to let go of what you already have. Let go of that friendship. There are better friendships that are waiting you. Let go of that relationship. There is a better relationship that God has prepared for you. Let go of those habits, the ones that are destroying you. God has new habits He wants to give you that will build you, that will make you a better person. Let go, because is not the whole land before you? There is so much for us to see and explore, but sometimes we have to let go so that God can deposit the new thing in us. The next one is number 4. So this is when Lot chose the land. And when I read this, it's like Lot and Abraham had a good relationship. It was mainly because Abraham was blessed and Lot, by association, gained the blessing. But it's in when Abraham asked him to choose the land, you begin to see Lot's mindset. Lot only chose the land because it looked good. He chose the land because it appeared to be good. He chose it not thinking straight. He didn't even assess it or try to think, okay, what land am I choosing? He just chose it because it looked good. And there you begin to see that Lot's mindset was not the same mindset as Abraham. Maybe you need to let go because you guys are not in the same wavelength. You're not in the same spiritual length. You're not in the same mental capacity. God is trying to take you to a place where you're going to be connected, networking with people that think like you or think the way God wants you to think. Because if you surround yourself with people like Lot, who only make decisions based off of because it looks good, because it seems good, because maybe it tastes nice, you're going to end up destroying the things that God has placed in you. So this is another reason why maybe God wants you to let go, because He wants to place you in a new environment where people think alike. People have the mindset that God wants you to have, greater, that will push you, that will increase you, grow you, and make you what God wants you to be. And then the last one is when God then says to Abraham, after Lot had separated from him. So this is after Lot had separated from him. So this is after you let go. Here is the benefit. God then says to Abraham, lift your eyes now and look from the place where you are, northward, southward, eastward, and westward. For all the land which you see, I give to you and your descendants forever. I will make your descendants as the dust of the earth, so that if a man could number the dust of the earth, then your descendants also could be numbered. Arise, walk in the land through its length and its width, for I give it to you. Then Abraham moved his tent and went and dwelt by the terebinth tree of Mamre, which are in Hebron, and built an altar there to the Lord. So Abraham, or at this point he was called Abram, he gained his blessing from God after he split from Lot. you will surely be blessed, and God will give you your new promises. God will give you your new provision. God will give you your new resources. God will elevate you. Open your eyes to the new possibilities. Open your eyes to the new things He wants to do for you, only when you let go. So I'm going to finish there. I don't want to hurt you too much, but this is a message directly from God. And I believe that there is going to be a great deliverance happen for anyone who is listening. Let that thing go. Let that person go. Let that relationship go. Let that friendship go. Because there is a promise at the end of your obedience. So once again, I'd like to say thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Share with those who you feel like need to hear this. And remember that God is love.